Quick plug before we start. I am offering 20% off of all appointments and readings until this shit is over. So if you're on my website, use the code WTF2020 for 20% off all appointments. I'm still doing free readings for essential workers. Please don't contact me for a free reading unless you're actually an essential worker. Please, please, please just use the honor system. But yeah, so if you're an essential worker and you would like a free reading, please reach out through email or Instagram and we can talk privately there. And yeah, enjoy the reading. Hi, water signs, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. This month I'm doing all the elements together because not much has changed, so I can't imagine the energy being too different for each individual 12 signs. So I'm lumping the elements together, but of course, like, I feel like all the signs should just watch all the readings this month. Just, there's messages for everyone, everywhere. All right, take a deep breath for me. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. We are going to jump right in. Deep breaths. Keep breathing. Oh no. Try to move it here and then I just knocked over my cards. Hold on. This is bothering me. All right. Bruh. Deep breaths, y'all. Deep breaths. In through the nose. Hold it. Out through the mouth. All right, let's see. One oracle card for Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. One oracle card for the water signs for the month of May 2020. Let me pull another card for you. No, that's the card. All right. Okay, so water signs. I feel this is really interesting. The main message for you, and we'll talk about it, but the main message is in order for you to find true independence, you need to go revisit your roots, as in your family. Now, it doesn't mean you have to physically go revisit them. You don't have to physically go to them. But emotionally, it's as if you guys have been blocked, or you have been blocking off something from your past in order to protect yourself. And this is all in regards to your family, your roots. So whether it's childhood trauma, whether it's just a strained relationship with a parent or a sibling or whatever it is, it's something to do with your family that has made you almost resentful in a way where you have tried to be so independent from your family, so different from your family, just to avoid being like them. So what I'm seeing is that this quarantine, this time of us being home and being asked to look at certain things. For you guys, water signs, you are being asked to look at your roots. So I just want to do a quick plug right now. I do astrology readings, so if you want me to look into your roots and your past, we can do that. I'm also offering 20% off of readings right now. All right. So if you haven't had a good relationship with your family, you don't necessarily need to reach out right now if you're not ready. That's not what I'm saying. I don't want you to do something that you're not ready for if it's going to trigger you, if it's going to bring up a lot of emotional stuff for you. Right now, use that independence of yours to sit with yourself and dive into those feelings that you've been avoiding. You guys are really good at diving into emotions, but often you try to drown yourself in emotions that aren't productive for you. So say if you're depressed about like a partner or a boy or a girl or whoever, right? That, not to say that those kind of relationships are important, but those relationships are not as deep rooted as the relationships with your family. Therefore, they are not going to affect you as much as the ones that you grew up with, the ones that have formed your personality from childhood, right? The things that I keep looking at are, in your advice card, you have the Four of Wands, which is to, look into your family matters. But also at the bottom of the deck, you have the Chariot in reverse. The Chariot is the Cancer card, also known as the fourth house, which is the house of family. So because this is in your advice upright and this is upside down at the bottom of your deck, this is the general vibe that you are exerting right now. You are blocking off dealing with your family. You're blocking off having to look at those childhood traumas and the things that went wrong in your childhood, because one, you either think that you've already gotten over it or that you've already processed it, or if you were to revisit it, it wouldn't do anything for you. It wouldn't help you in any way. But it's blocking a lot of your emotional ability to receive things, because you may think you're living your life based on you, but that's not right. Or not that it's not right. It's not true. You're living your life based on you in spite of who your family was, or you are trying so hard to detach yourself from the idea of what your family is that you create a whole persona just to be the antithesis of that. But in the end, that's still not being the true you. Your family, your shadow self, the things that you grew up with that are traumatic, that are painful, those things are a part of you. And you're being asked now you have to look at that. You have to confront that, and you have to accept that as a part of you. Now, that doesn't mean that if you had abusive parents, it doesn't mean that you are an abuser or that you're going to grow up to be one. But you have to accept the fact that that abuse has shaped who you are. And instead of rejecting it or running away from it, you have to not integrate, but just accept the fact that your past is a part of you. It doesn't define you, but it is a part of you, and it does affect the way that you think and the way that you decide things and the partners that you choose and the way that you accept behavior, or the way that you behave, or the way that you accept treatment from other people. It's all based on your roots and your family and what you grew up with. So even though you really don't want to go back there, and again, I'm not saying you have to reach out to family members. I'm not saying you have to talk to anyone, but you have to look at it. You have to look at it inside, right? You have to really understand where the line is between your personality and the persona that you're putting on in order to spite your family, or in order to just be so different from your family, or like, I'm not going to be like them. You're not going to be like them. You're you. But in order to be you, you have to accept all of you, which includes your past. Okay. So your oracle card is detach. Worry over nothing and fear nothing. Truly let go. Detach and leave all of your past behind, emotional or material. You will be adequately provided for, but not through holding onto attachments. The universe enforces the perfect balance. Live simply. Okay, so the attachments that you have. Again, you might not be literally attached to your family or emotionally attached to your family, but the resentments, the idea of I'm not going to be like them, that's still an attachment. Even though you're trying so hard to pull away and be independent, the fact that you think that, the fact that you're thinking in spite of your family is still an attachment. So what the universe is asking you for the month of May is you have to look at the whole picture, which includes your past, and integrate that into who you're becoming today and who you want to be in the future. You can no longer live to spite your family. You can no longer live to be the black sheep of the family, to be different from your family, no matter how they define you, right? It's now about how you define you. It's almost as if you were told that you were the black sheep, or you were treated like you were the black sheep of the family, that you almost took it on. It's like, well, if I'm going to be the black sheep anyway, then I might as well just be the black sheep. No, you have to come at it from a place of, and I know it sucks, and that it sucks that you have to be the one to do this, but you have to come from a place of, I accept that how I was treated was not the greatest, but I accept that I am not going to be affected by that anymore moving forward. I accept that I can look at things from a view of witnessing and not judging. I can accept that I am still a good person even though I went through these harsh things. I accept that I can still be loving to my family even if you don't have to literally be there with them, right? Again, I'm not telling you to reach out to abusers or anything like that, but just, you don't need, excuse me, you don't need to hold on to that anger anymore. That anger was a part of your survival growing up. That sadness was a part of your survival, but you don't need it anymore. So that's what this card is talking about. You have to detach from the negative emotions that you feel about your childhood, or that the negative emotions that come from your childhood. Because that way, anytime you do feel a negative emotion, it's not associated with your childhood. And your existence can be a little bit more holistic versus black and white. All right, water signs. Stay safe. Stay home. Yeah. Just know your boundaries, but you can't run from these emotions and you can't run from these feelings anymore. But it's not... The Wheel of Fortune's here, so you're just going to have to look at it, all right? Okay. I'll see you in June. Bye. Quick reminder, 20% off of all readings, WTF 2020, free readings for essential workers. Hit me up.